we go. Welcome to Coffee Chats, everybody. And this Coffee Chats is going to air on April 24th. Is that tomorrow? April 24th tomorrow?
3rd.
23rd, 22nd. Oh, that's right. Today's the 21st. So you'll be seeing this on April 22nd and on the 23rd as well. Couple of things before I turn the camera over to our new gal. Today we are going to talk about the beverage bar. A few weeks ago, we had a contest to see if anybody was going to be spot on as far as when we were going to be reopening the beverage center down in the atrium. We had a lot of close dates, and nobody really nailed it right on the head, but our closest one was Mary Wagner. So Mary, congratulations. I'll be getting your prize ready for you. And in case you missed all of that, the Coffee and Juice Center is open down in the atrium. So feel free to go on down. The filtered water is back, the orange juice and apple juice in the mornings, and then of course the coffee, which is really good. If you need a coffee cup, if somehow you've misplaced your Ridgepoint coffee cup, feel free to go to the front desk and let them know, or just call 6200 and let them know, and we'll get you a coffee cup. The nice thing about them is they fit really nicely under the coffee dispenser. Same with water. If you are looking for some filtered water just in the container, which is something that you might need for your upcoming exercise classes, don't hesitate to call 6200 and let us know, and I can go ahead and get you a new water bottle. They've got the straw, and they're a nice size. They're not too big, and they've got a nice handle on them. Again, so don't hesitate to do that. We're happy that the beverage center's been open. We've seen a few more people down in the atrium. Of course, it's our little signature place down there for everybody to go, and it's really nice to see people kind of populating the area again down there. So go down and enjoy that. Next thing I wanted to do is introduce to you our new exercise instructor. Her name is Jillian, and she is going to be replacing Aline. And you haven't seen much of Aline because she hasn't been here in about a year. But for those of you who have been watching channel 991, we have had I think it's been the chair yoga classes and some of her other exercise classes as well that have been broadcast in through channel 991. So you've only seen her that way. We're super excited to be able to open up the exercise classes again. It's going to be a little bit at a time, and we're really happy that we've got Roger's assistance in making sure that we can also broadcast these new exercise classes up into your units as well. So let me just turn this over. Again, Jillian is our new exercise instructor, and we'll have a little bit from her. We'll hear a little bit from her about herself.
Greetings, my name is Jillian Balzer, and I am so excited to introduce myself to you today. I live very close to this area. I can actually walk to work, which is a very good thing because I have 2 daughters, and one being 16. She sometimes needs the car, so it's a good thing that I can walk to work. It's actually been a dream of mine to be able to walk to work. Because it's good for the environment, it's good for life, so that's a big plus. In addition, I am excited to teach my first class with you, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment, but let's see. So I'm married, live in the neighborhood, and I'll be teaching a yoga class, kind of the same format as Aileen Waters, who I have had the opportunity to view some of her previous classes, and I have a hard act to follow. She's remarkable. She was a talented and obviously dedicated teacher. So I'll do my best. But the most important thing is that we gather, we work our bodies, we exercise, and I get to know you and this community, and we'll take it slow. I just wanted to let you know about the first class, which will be this following Monday, which is our first yoga class, and it's at 8:40. And the class will, of course, work all the important things, the joints, the muscles, circulation. It will also, concentrate and focus on the breath, which is it's called yoking. Yoga means yoke, and it means to join the breath and movement. And so that's the foundation of a yoga practice. And we'll be clearing this area. So this is our heart, our throat chakra. It's our 5th chakra, the Vishuddha. Doesn't matter about that, but we're just gonna get into the neck, clear all the junk away, and it will feel good. You'll feel good. Anyway, I believe that's a good introduction, and I look forward to meeting you.
Other way, go back to Paula.
Oh,
We have some questions.
all right.
Okay. Thanks, Jillian, for that. And I just wanted to ask you, like, a couple of questions. Thank you so much for that introduction. And for those of you who, you'll be getting to know Jillian quite a bit, but one of the things when I spoke with her the other day, I was so excited about, I like yoga, but I'm definitely a novice. And by the time she was done describing her yoga classes and techniques and things to bring people together, I was so excited. I thought, I really want to be there too. The good news is it is going to be live. The bad news is it's going to be a little bit limited in terms of numbers. So if you are interested, go ahead and sign up. And Raquel will be talking a little bit more about that in just a minute. But it just sounds so exciting and just so interesting. I'm really glad that Ridgepoint is going to get to this place where we can do this again live. And so I wanted to find out, Jillian, I got a question for you. How did you get into teaching yoga in the first place? Like, what drew you to this?
Sure. So I'll be quite honest with you. I was going through a breakup. And that happens, a boyfriend breakup. And so I started hitting the gym. And one of the classes that was offered there was it was a hatha yoga class, which is a gentle yoga class. And I just fell in love with the practice because it hits not only the physical, but it hits the emotional and the spiritual if you want it to. But it's just like, it just covers the whole body.
So totally therapeutic for you at the time.
It's
there you go.
so gentle and therapeutic. I fell in love with the practice, and I mean that.
Well, good. Well, that's interesting. And what's your favorite part about teaching? What's your favorite part of the teaching itself?
Okay. Well, I would say my favorite part is getting to know everybody and catering the class to their needs. When you prepare a class, you have to alter it to make it safe and appropriate for who walks in your door. That is my most important concern, really. You want them to feel happy when they leave and feel good about themselves. And if they don't, they're not going to show up. And it's a mutual thing, teaching a class.
Well, good.
So
Good.
catering
Well,
it to the people and getting to know them.
Yeah.
Because it gets me out of bed. When I interviewed for this class, I said that night that when I had this class and getting to know those individuals just gave life meaning to me.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, we're really looking forward to your classes here. We really are.
Paula.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
And then we'll turn it over to Raquel because she's got a few more interesting things coming up.
Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday or Friday, I guess, depending on when you're watching this. So like Jillian and Paula both mentioned, on Monday, April 26th, we will be having our first in-person yoga class. That'll be starting. It'll be at 8:40 in Marion Hall. But this very first one, we're only going to have 5 residents attend this class. So if you're interested in attending, please call me at the 6212 number and I will let you know if you called in time to be able to get into the class. That's just the Monday class though. Then Wednesday and Friday, when our other classes will be, we will be opening those up to more residents, and everyone should be able to come if they want to come and exercise, because she has 3 different classes that will be available. And we'll put up a slide on 991 with more of that information so that everyone makes sure they're on the right page of which classes are when and where they're going, so everyone is all on top of it. And the only other thing I have this week is a new contest, because we are done with the coffee bar. It's done. It's over. It's open. Woohoo! So I have a giant jar filled with Fruit Loops. This thing is quite literally the size of my head. I will be placing it outside of my office in the atrium. There's a table out there, and there will be slips of paper where you can write your first and last name and your guess of how many Fruit Loops you think are in here. And then I will, in a few weeks, I think May 5th is when we're going to end this contest. I will hand count all of these to see who is the closest to this. So quite a feat, but I'm ready and I'm willing, and we'll have a $5 Target gift card, something of that sort, for the winner. So come stop by my office outside and write your guess of how many are in here. To Jeff.
Yay.
Hi. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I want to ask you a question first. Sorry, I have it on my phone here. Okay. My friend had purchased a piece of slate to put into the floor in the hearth in front of his fireplace. The slate was 3/4 of an inch thick by 10 inches wide by 48 inches long. And weighed on the order of 175 pounds. He had cut a hole in the oak floor that was the same size as a piece of slate. The depth of the hole was at exactly 3/4 of an inch, the same as the slate. And of course, there was a subfloor underneath. When he put one end of the slate into the hole in the floor, he realized that he would have to drop the other end to get the slate into the hole. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
It's so tight that he can't literally set it in. He realized he would have to drop the other end to get the slate into the hole. He realized that if he dropped the brittle slate even a half inch, it would break. Okay. Not only that, but it wouldn't go in the hole anyway. There was so little clearance that he couldn't even use a thin fishing line to lower the end of the slate. So he sat there for the longest time drinking beers and pondering this dilemma. After his 5th or 6th trip to the kitchen, he returned with something that solved the problem in an elegant fashion. What did he find there that allowed him to lower the slate into the hole without risk of breaking it?
May I?
You may.
A cake spatula.
A cake spatula.
Yeah, or like a cake server.
Yeah. Well, if a thin fish line wouldn't do it, how would he drop it in there? Set it on the spatula, drop it, and
So that's not it.
that's not it.
Um,
You notice how I walked her into realizing it was the wrong answer? I didn't have to say, no, you're wrong, Paula. I like Paula because she tries.
Typically, I don't get these, but I do like to throw
So
something
you
at the
can't
wall.
just use your hands. You couldn't get a group of people together and lift it up and set it in there.
No, because it fits perfectly. You
Wait,
can't.
Is it like ground? I didn't hear underneath. Is it like a
It's
dirt
just
hole?
subflooring.
Oh,
If
floor.
we're gonna have
Flooring.
any attempt at answering, we should listen to the entire question.
Jeff, I was
is
gonna
what
say
I'm
pour
saying.
water in there and float it down
Pour water.
and let it absorb. But if the
You
ground-
are close. You are very, very close.
Ice cube.
Ice cubes.
Ice cube. Oh,
What?
of course it would
You set
melt.
ice cubes in the
Brilliant.
bottom. You set the slate on the ice cubes, and it will slowly melt down.
See, Roger knew.
Don't you get wet
Wow.
subflooring then?
We're not worried about the wet subflooring.
Don't worry. Don't
That
worry.
has nothing to do with the puzzle, Paula.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's
Not
what it's.
exactly a solution.
That's what it's
for
like
an
working
answer.
with Paula, folks. She'll
She's worried
she'll
about
find-
the next step.
and actually I want to
Mold.
I want to apologize to Paula and Raquel and the housekeepers and everyone for last night. We had the complimentary lunches, last night being Tuesday night. Dinners. And it got to be about 4 o'clock, and we were planning on how we were going to do it, and we were going to have you all come down to the lobby and we'd hand you one. And then I thought, oh my gosh, there's only 2 people allowed on an elevator. It'll be gridlock down on the first floor. So we changed on the fly, and I don't know if it went good, bad, or indifferent, but the staff had to jump through some hoops that I created, and I apologize. I hope you enjoyed. That's my absolute favorite sandwich that we serve here. Did you have one, Roger?
I did.
Do you like those bad boys?
Marvelous.
They are so good.
They're good. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so, and speaking of food, a week from Monday, Raquel, you had the date in your head. What was it?
May 3rd.
May 3rd, beginning Monday, May 3rd, the Rose Room will be open Mondays and Wednesdays. We're going to start with just having an open sign up like we did before. We'll continue to do deliveries. Deliveries still will be free of charge. If we find that our Rose Room is filling to capacity on a regular basis and it's the same people eating each meal or whatever, we will change it. We ask that you don't sign up to eat in the Rose Room every night. I mean, give your neighbors a chance, but we may adjust accordingly. I know that our sister facility in Denver says, okay, today being Monday, May 3rd, only the 6th and 7th floor are allowed to sign up to eat. We're not going to start with any of that, but we do reserve the right to change that so that we can be fair. So if you don't get to eat on May 3rd, please hang in there. We won't forget you. If you want to eat in the dining room, we'll get you in the dining room. Okay, so that we will, did I say we'll continue to deliver? I did.
Yeah, and
That's-
deliveries will still be no charge.
No charge.
Yep.
Correct. You'll see too that on Monday will be with the starting up of exercise class and the dining room. We're gonna have to clear out that hallway going from the east mail room to the dining room. Those couches will come out. We still have to figure out where we can place the couches so we don't lose track of our social distancing and all that. Part of me feels like, oh, we're just opening everything wide open and we're ready to go, and that's not the case. We've got to rein ourselves in. We still are under strict guidance from the Minnesota Department of Health, and that is public social distancing in public places. I think that the whole public versus private gathering has really is understood by everyone that lives here. And I see many of you hosting games, luncheons, what have you, book clubs, and doing it in a private manner so that you can go without masking and all that type of thing. And that's great, knowing full well bingo and things like that, which are public gatherings. We're going to wear masks. We're going to keep our social distance. That's just what we have to do. And it seems to me like over half the state's vaccinated, right? Not fully vaccinated, but I get my second shot next Tuesday, so I'm looking forward to that. I did want to talk also, today the East Garage is being swept. And last week, what I like about working at Ridgepoint is there's such an evolution. Had I thought ahead of time, there are things that we do here that took years and years and years to perfect, and some of them aren't even that complicated. And just like I know our lawn service people, they've been with us for about 15 years, and they've been cleaning our garages now for about 5 or 6. Finally, they got the right equipment, they got the right guy, and that garage in the west building is as clean as I've ever seen it. I say that hoping and praying that they do as good a job in the east as they did in the west. They did show up to vacuum it or to sweep it yesterday, a day ahead of time, so it's not without fault. Anyway, so and as the summer goes on, we're going to be doing the windows. There's some talk that, the windows are going to be done in July. We hope they're going to be done in July. We've got to get them scheduled, and I've said 3 weeks in a row now, I've got to get that scheduled. Just because I left a message doesn't mean I did my part. I'll follow through and have an answer for you on the windows next week. I did want to talk quickly about one thing. We've got everyone's leases renewed. okay? And one of the worst parts of my job is enforcing a 60-day notice at the end of a lease when someone moves out. Let's face it, we are an at-risk population for coronavirus. We all know that. The reason we're at risk is because of our age. And because of our age, sometimes we move on to assisted livings or whatever, and that requires, unfortunately, to move out. And we require a 60 days notice to vacate. Okay? When you sign a lease with us, no matter what time of the month or year, you can always give us a 60-day notice. There is some verbiage in the lease that says there's a $1,000 penalty for breaking the lease. That penalty is for if you go to another independent living community. I don't think that's unreasonable. If you have to go to a medical facility, which we consider an assisted living a medical facility, we waive that $1,000 fee. Okay? There's verbiage in the lease about a month-to-month fee. That's the purpose of that is if today you signed your lease or you had to decide what kind of lease you wanted, and you knew that in June you were going to buy a place up in Brainerd and you were going to move and you were going to buy a cabin. That's not a medical facility. That's something that we'd say, okay, you're going to have to pay us $1,000 to break that lease. What you could do is say, you know what? We want a month-to-month lease of which you pay $50 premium for, but when you go in June, you give us the notice, and that allows you to get out of the lease without the $1,000. So you spend $100 on 2 months premium, but you save $1,000, you're $900 ahead. Come and see me if you have any questions on that. I believe Ridgepoint's lease policy is very liberal. I know that we're a player in town when some of the other communities that are out there are talking about some of our policies in a less than positive way. Have at it. We're here. We can take it. We've got broad shoulders. We're not going to pick on you. Go ahead, do your thing. What I know is when this place opens up completely, no one can out-social us. I love the conversation between Paula and Jillian.
I knew it would come.
That shows, I think that Jillian gets it, and that we're really, really anxious to get going on all that. So there are all kinds of reasons for us to be enthused, so amen. And God love Ridgepoint. Here we go with one other thing I wanted to read to you. The local United Way office realized that it had never received a donation from the town's most successful lawyer. The volunteer in charge of contributions called him to persuade him to contribute. Our research shows that you have a yearly income of more than $600,000. You give not a penny to charity. Wouldn't you like to give it back to the community in some way? The lawyer mulled over for a moment and replied, "First, did your research also show that my mother is dying after a long illness and has medical bills that are several times her annual income?" Embarrassed, the United Way rep mumbled, no. Second, that my brother, a disabled veteran, is blind and confined to a wheelchair. The stricken United Way rep began to stammer out an apology but was put off. Third, that my sister's husband died in a traffic accident. The lawyer's voice rising in indignation, leaving her penniless with 3 children. The humiliated United Way rep, completely beaten, said, "I had no idea." On a roll, the lawyer cut him off at once and said, "And I don't give any money to them, so why should I give any to you?" Have a good week.